We had great news yesterday, Peter. Did you hear about football practice? Kids can have football practice now.
And soccer practice, Peter.
My girls have been practicing soccer. I mean, they never stopped.
Quiet, Peter. Do not tell people that.
Crazy soccer parents. We've been driving to Arizona and Temecula, and yeah, it's so weird. We'll travel to.
I can help you find a place if you turn on location.
We'll travel to Temecula to play a team from San Diego.
Well, that's interesting. They could do Temecula. You really shouldn't be doing anything in California, but definitely Arizona.
Yeah, there's nothing like driving 6 hours to Yuma for a soccer game. It's 6 hours at night.
Man, try Phoenix. That's where we've been going.
Yeah.
Or Laughlin.
Well, we got you can practice now, so that's good.
I feel sorry for all those kids.
What was that?
I said, what's up with the suit? It's Friday.
Chuck's gonna be on, so I thought I'd dress up.
Either that or he's in a cold place. So he's just trying to keep warm.
Maybe.
Maybe he's in Texas.
Oh.
Chuck Whitehead show, man.
Oh, hey, thanks, Tony. You wore a jacket for me?
It's just for you, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. So what do you say, Peter? Should we just start rolling?
We're gonna break a commandment by starting at 8:31. Right. We should wait till 8:32.
All right, you got it. You got it. We're streaming out all over the place too, just so you know. We're streaming out to Gen Blue, streaming out to Coldwell Banker ABR, streaming out to Coastal Alliance, streaming out to a bunch of different Facebook groups too. So we'll have a lot of people there, which will be fun.
You didn't have to say all that. Now we're gonna be all nervous.
And every comment I have is about how you finally brushed your hair and don't have a hat on.
like Tony said, we got the Chuck Whitehead show, so I thought I'd put a part in my head.
I didn't know Peter had hair.
I know. I thought he was
I really
too.
didn't. I didn't. You're looking good. Looking good.
He almost got hat-fished.
Oh.
That looks so contained, Peter.
Yeah, it's better than the mullet I had a couple months ago.
Yeah. No, that's a contained deal. I trimmed my beard off this morning too, so we're ready to do something today.
Yes, sir. I finally got my Floby to work.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter, we got Lance Martin on the line. What's up, Lance?
When I was in high school. Morning. What's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. Just keeping busy.
I heard we're getting what are we getting today? The 10 or 11 most important Chuck Whitehead things in history?
The Chuck Whitehead show, Lance. Let's do this. Everyone's fired up.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Let's roll.
Ready, Chuck?
I'm ready.
I'm ready, brother.
All right. I'm
do
ready.
it, Chuck.
Let's go.
All right. So here is the book, guys. And this is the 10/11 Commandments of Real Estate, because really there was one that I just could not leave out, and I could not decide which one to cut. So I kept them in here. Now, take into account this book was pre-COVID, Jenny.
Okay, pre-COVID.
All right. So this was written 2 years ago now. But I think everything still applies.
So you wrote this.
Of course, yeah.
So you wrote it. You went and got like a publisher.
Right.
An editor. Let's say I want to write a book.
Right.
Because I have a lot to say, and
Okay.
it's much more interesting than this probably.
All right. No.
No,
Yeah,
just kidding.
I'd read it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you. Let me give you like 2 minutes on writing a book.
Okay, thank you, because I want to write one.
So I think, and I'm gonna ask you, Tony, and a few other people on the call, and you know who should be writing one is like Steve Games, who's on this call, and
Yes.
Peter, and there are people that just have so much info to share with the world. And the cool part about a book like this, and whether it's anybody's book, is it takes everything someone has to put into a book. Like when I was listening to the 3 Feet from Gold guy, some of the people Mary Beth brought on, and like it is extremely difficult, but once you've gone through the process of writing it, you know how to do it. And so like if I want to do number 2, which I'm just starting to work on, I know how to do it. But basically I went all over the place. I talked to English professors. I went to everyone I possibly could, just finding out like what is involved in actually creating this. And it kind of always starts out with an idea. And once you've got that idea, that's kind of the most important thing. From there, you have to figure out how can I get these thoughts together, and how can I actually put them into a uniform way that people might be interested in reading. So,
Do they help you with that? Or
No.
do you have to? Oh, you
You're on
got to
your
be
own.
legit organized.
You're on your own. And so
Okay.
I knew I had 3 things to write about. Number 1 was real estate sales, which is
Okay.
my passion.
Yes.
Number 2 is investing, which for those of you guys that have been like on like investment breakdowns and stuff like that. And number 3 was things that are good for the soul. So, but this
Okay.
particular one was what I believe are the 11, kind of important essential facts to, that everyone needs to be successful in real estate. Now, I'm not a writer. I'm a terrible writer. I talked to Peter. He said that he had a minor in English and he actually read 1 book in college. Is that right, Peter? One book? So
Maybe I could do college.
see, maybe I could do college.
What was the book?
What was the book again, Peter?
Yeah.
You probably didn't want to say it.
Beloved.
Beloved.
Oh, I watched the movie.
Well, that kind of counts. So anyways, I put together an outline.
Okay.
The real way to write a book is to put it into some form of a PowerPoint presentation. That's what all the
Okay.
English professors and everybody. So you put it into like a structured presentation platform.
Okay.
And then from there, it gives you the idea to create the flow, and then you start filling in the ideas and the points underneath each one of those topics in your PowerPoint.
Okay. Okay.
And then it follows along here. So
Okay.
and so that's kind of how it worked. And then I went to Amazon and I talked to them and I hired an editor.
So
And,
through Amazon, you're able
Yes.
to do
yeah,
that.
I contacted the Amazon publishing department and they assigned me an editor. And that editor was, she was a romance novelist.
Oh.
So her and I did not get along. Not that I'm not romantic. Okay.
Okay,
very
okay,
but
okay.
she took out all my jokes, all my profanity. She took out all that sort of stuff. And
There's some.
left,
no.
left me with this. So, she's
No,
trying to straighten
no.
me out.
It's good. I got some jokes.
All right. Well, thanks. So Peter, you want me to just start rattling through these, man? And what do you want? How do you want to start?
Let's start with commandment number 1. I think I want to skip commandment number 2, but
Yeah,
I
me
want to
too.
hear about commandment number 1.
Well, basically, commandment number 1 is become a walking, talking billboard. And what I mean by that is exactly how it sounds. Like, we need to still, even in this COVID environment, like when I see you with your Coldwell Banker hat on, Peter, or when I see, Russ with a point shirt, or just walking around and people knowing what you do is important. There's a real big deal going on in our company right now where everybody is wrapping their cars. And they're finding that they're getting listings from their wrappings because their neighbors didn't even know they were real estate agents.
True story.
They're putting stickers on the back windows. They're wearing the shirts. Everywhere they go, everything they do, they are letting everyone know that they are in real estate. And real estate really is one of the few careers out there that we get paid to be social.
This is true.
And whether it is, on a Zoom call, or whether it is being out at a soccer game, like you said, in Phoenix, or a soccer game in San Diego, a football game. Football's all starting to practice again. Like, we got to get back to what we are all good at, which is being in front of people. We are all salespeople. Tony from Tycor is likable. That's why he does well, and he has relationships with the agents. So,
Right.
So being a walking, talking billboard is number 1. Yes, this is what I do, so I'm branded when I'm out walking around. But it's also about letting everyone know this is who I am and this is what I do. Now that's changed. We've had to change the approach of the way we're doing that, but it is reopening now. So it's going to get back to that. So, and I always tell everybody, and this is one of the big points in chapter 1, is go to everything you are invited to. Go to everything you are invited to, because you never know who you're going to meet.
I know.
You absolutely never know who you're going to meet. And it's all like those conferences that you don't want to go, and then you go, and then you get great nuggets out of it. So going to everything you meet and talking real estate and all that is huge. When I talk about branding and billboarding, right across from our Marietta office, there's a Kohl's. There's a Walgreens, and like when we have our sales meetings, we hand out lotto tickets, as you remember, for everybody that has their name badge on. And we sold the manager of Kohl's their house because of the name badge and the person who was up front. We sold the manager of the Walgreens their house because of the name tag. And when that guy was up front, we sold the assistant manager at Walgreens their home. So it's really just about professing everything that you do. But most importantly, if I'm walking around like this, you don't know who I am. I might be an insurance agent. I might be whatever. Oh, Peter and Tony are making fun of me, or somebody right now. I can feel it. I can see you guys. You see them?
I do. I wasn't looking, but this is good.
All right. So anyway, so that's what I mean. And my recommendation is throw your name tag in your cup holder. And when you get in your car in the morning, put it on, and then when you get home at night, take it off.
I've always been horrible about that. Also because, well, one, and I'm not a great driver, so that's why my car is not wrapped. So you have to be a good driver, or it makes you be a better driver.
True.
But wearing your name tag also makes you a better person, because you watch your facial expressions, you watch what you say, what you do.
I like that. That's true. That's true. And so that's a big piece. The other thing I want to say when I talk about being a walking, talking billboard is, Peter was talking about soccer. Russ was talking about football being back on. Like, be the team mom, be the assistant coach, be the one that communicates with the parents, because by being out front, it's another way that you're branding. So yes, hey, practice is going to be this Thursday, signed by Peter Mendiola, Coldwell Banker West, here's my phone number. So it's another way to stay in front of people. And another great idea, this is when things open up a little bit more, but when you have the uniforms that have come in for soccer, let's say you're in the Eastlake office or an Armory office or whatever, hey, I can give you the uniforms on Saturday morning before the game, or if you can swing by my office this week, you can come pick it up from my receptionist up front. So by doing that, everybody knows what you do. So they come into the office to actually pick things up. Does that make sense, Betsy? I know you're getting it. All right. So, okay, good. So that's just another way. Another thing that people do is, and I know, again, this is a COVID issue, but if you're sending some form of a client gift to your clients, most people send it to their home. Don't send it to their home. If they are in a COVID situation where it is open and their company is operating, send it to their office. Because that way everybody else sees, well, my real estate agent didn't send me flowers or a charcuterie board or whatever. So so that's a little bit, Peter, about that. Yes.
Can I add one more?
Please.
Okay, because I was a soccer mom, big time. We did the whole travel, Phoenix thing. The ice chest. Having your ice chest branded to you, because you don't have to say a word, or your chair on the back,
Yep.
That I love that one.
That's
and I know a lot of you already know all this stuff, but
just
little
some
nuggets.
Just some reminders. Yeah. And the other thing is, if I may, we are not in the business of. It's of course, like I talk to people all the time, and they're like, "Hey, I gave out 10 cards today," right? And I always say like, that's not what we're looking for. We're in the business of collecting cards.
Yes.
But I don't even keep cards on me anymore. So like if somebody sees my name tag or whatever, I say, you know what, I don't have any cards on me, but let me add you to my Facebook and Instagram real quick. Or you know what, I was going to, as a matter of fact, I want to text you, find some reason to text them and get their phone number. But so don't hand out cards, collect their information so that you can put them into your database. So,
I love it. Love it.
So there's a little bit, Peter, on number 1, becoming a walking, talking billboard. Any comments, or what do you think?
No, I agree. Being a soccer dad myself and loving real estate as much as I do, that's pretty much what I talk about, soccer or real estate. So when you're out there, just don't be a secret agent. Just talk to as many people as you can.
Don't be a secret agent. I like that. Whenever I hear that, I think of like the person who does the door hangers, and they're like walking up really quiet, hoping
that was
the person doesn't open the door.
That was
which
me.
Is like, come on. That's not what we're getting paid for. But I always do. That's fine.
You just gotta get over yourself and who cares? Let's go. Right?
How do you even know me? You don't even know me.
Get over yourself.
No, people get nervous about I'm gonna look like a salesperson. I'm gonna look weird.
Right.
Just talk, have fun.
You're right.
Okay, so I'll skip the open house section, Chuck, unless you want to talk about that one.
When I think about open houses, I think about Corey Shepard's presentation that he did on the virtual open houses and stuff like that. Like, I would go back into the Zoom calls and I would watch Corey's presentation and how he's collecting their information and collecting their data and setting out the times and what the videos need to look like. And obviously it's a huge hook still. It's just not physical, so, and basically setting appointments 15 minutes apart all day long is almost the same thing in this COVID environment. So, but I do recommend, either Anthony Manzon's open house class or piece that he did for the Zoom, or Corey. I thought those were both great. So yeah, that's all I got on that one, Peter.
Okay. So how do you become Chuck Whitehead and become an online rock star?
I don't know about that. Well,
that's commandment number 3.
Well, you remember, Peter, we did the social media scorecards. And the social media scorecards were where, we have somebody in our company that they go through and they analyze your Facebook, they analyze your Instagram, they analyze your LinkedIn, and they look to make sure that all of the important factors are there for the client. And the reason that that's important is because, and Jenni's seen me do this a lot, I go online looking for an agent or at another company, for example, or somebody that maybe we're trying to recruit, and I'll go onto their Facebook and they don't have their phone number. And when they don't have their phone number, I go insane because you go on their Facebook, it's not there. You go on their Instagram, it's not there. You go on their LinkedIn, it's not there. There are so many people that don't have their contact information out there.
Yeah.
And I find that extremely, extremely frustrating. So, and that's one of them. The other thing, Peter, is, and I don't know how many newer people are on this call, but if they are not faking it until they can make it, if they are not going back and looking, if I were to go through Betsy's social media right now, or if I were to go through Janie's social media right now, the question is, would I use you? And, do you have a track record that makes you look like a professional real estate agent? They want to know about you. So, is there pictures of your family? Are there all those things that present the persona of a successful real estate agent? And just throwing up a bunch of listings and stuff is cool and sold, but it's really about kind of carrying your personality mixed with what you do, mixed with success stories in all of your things, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook. Because I'll never forget one of our agents, this was about 5 months ago, went on a listing presentation, and he was a millennial selling a condo. The guy who was selling it, he was like 29, and he was talking about, our agent who was in his 60s, who sold their parents' house, thought it was a slam dunk. He was talking to that that seller, and the seller was asking him questions. He goes, so tell me about your Instagram. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And he goes, well, how good of a job? He said, because no offense, but we're not on Facebook or any of that stuff. He goes, I want to know, what are you doing on Instagram to help promote my properties? And he goes, oh yeah, I have Instagram and I do all that stuff. Oh, okay, good. Let's pull it up. Oh. And so he pulled up our agent, who's like 62, 63's Instagram, and he looked at it and he goes, well, I won't say his name, but he goes, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't see anything about you being in real estate here, and it's an online world. I feel like you are not helping me, and and all that. He goes, but I just want to tell you, I really appreciate you coming over to my house, and I'll be in touch. Well, needless to say, he did not get the listing, and all because he was neglecting his Instagram. He lost that. So again, when you are going out on any presentation at all, you need to make sure that when because they've already looked you up, Jenny.
I know.
They've looked you up, they've Googled you, they've looked at your Facebook, they've looked at your Instagram, to make sure that you're legit. You have to make sure that you're even getting that appointment, because I believe that a large host of people out there are not even getting the listing appointment because their social media is so weak.
I agree 1,000,000%, and I have to do better.
Well, because they haven't scorecarded it, you know what I mean?
I
know. And you have a lot of, you can do anything. You could show, I'm out previewing a home by myself. They don't need to know that you're not with clients. If you're not really busy, here's congratulations, great closing on our company, $3 million. They don't need to know that it wasn't you. The picture that you have, for example, on your Instagram needs to not be you in glasses. It needs to be visible. And your handle needs to not be like, hot Instagram mama 5. It needs to be like Jenni Waters. So.
Yeah.
And we run into people all the time that you Google their name and it doesn't come up, but they have an Instagram because they have some old name that they were making when it was fun. You can't tell the picture. There's no information based on their phone numbers. They're practically unreachable. Their Instagram is things that really are not appropriate. If they're talking politics and religion and stuff, they're doomed. Doomed. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, Peter. It's just, I feel like people need to make sure that their photos are the same across all of their brands, LinkedIn, Instagram. They need to make sure, I need to be able to log onto your page. When I log onto your page and when I look at your backdrop, if it's your 3 grandkids as your backdrop, I don't know what you do for a living. It's important. I'm sorry. And yes, you know who I'm talking to, Jenny. But I need to be able to see Coldwell Banker. And I even recommend on the backdrop photo, make sure that your phone number is right there.
Yeah. Oh,
we have to be available. And so when I'm saying be an online rock star, all I'm saying, Peter, is like make sure that it is easy for the client. Because I'm telling you,
right.
If they can't find your phone number in about 2 minutes,
they're gone.
They're gone, and they'll call somebody else.
Yep.
So I think that's really important. And I know I can't talk enough about reviews. And I know Corey talks about it all the time, and but I don't buy anything on Amazon without looking at the reviews. And the only reviews that most people have are the reviews that some pissed off person put in there because you didn't ask them.
Yeah, you're right.
So if you're not sending them the links when you're done saying, could you please write me a review here, you're doomed.
Yeah, and just ask. Like Peter was saying, just ask. Just be yourself. You're yourself the whole time.
It's true. It's true. So I think it's more important sometimes in the listing presentation, Peter, because I don't think they're getting them because their social media is weak. And I do it all the time. Whenever we have a hire, Jenny had 7 interviews this week, and she's going through all their stuff, and we can almost tell who's going to make it and who's not, just based on the Instagram from the companies they have now and their Facebooks and their LinkedIn. What are you looking at me like that for?
I've experienced the same thing, and I'm the company photographer. One agent told me, I have a separate phone line that's my work phone, and a separate Instagram account is separate. I'm like, what are you doing?
I know.
Do you even check Whitehead?
I know.
Do you even check Whitehead?
I know. So Peter, that's really it. It's just making sure that they're uniform, making sure that their backdrop photos show what they do for a living the minute I log on, making sure that it's just uniform, I'm available, and I show a track record of being a successful real estate agent that is ready, willing, and prepared to help you with the biggest purchase/sale of your lifetime.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you can't. Go look at your own stuff. Would you use you? That's what I want to know.
I want to know what Betsy thinks.
What would you use you? Betsy, would you? Betsy's stuff is pretty decent, right? Betsy, you mind sharing? Like, how's your stuff? Your thumbs up? Are you dialed in?
Yeah, I'm dialed in. So, I basically try to do a 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3 kind of thing, where 1 is 1/3 of the business I'm actually doing, 1/3 is my personal life, and the other third is what I'm doing in work.
Love
where
it.
I try to make things a little bit more fun and.
That's super
Adam,
good.
Adam, write that down. I'm stealing that.
Yeah.
I came up with that.
No, totally.
Yeah. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. I
Love it,
that.
Betsy.
Yeah, good.
You're a genius, Chuck.
Good stuff. Well, and my favorite posts, guys, are things, and you'll hear me say this all the time, are things where you are sharing who you are and sharing what you do at the same time. So like, I don't even, cooking dinner and writing an offer, out in the boat and setting up showings, just things that are constantly reminding people that, look, I'm fun, I'm great, and I sell real estate. So there you go, Peter. That's kind of what I was talking about is, just making sure that you're dialed in.
Thank you. Here's my favorite. Be the Jetsons, not the Flintstones.
All right, another
Me
story.
neither.
Another story. The guy that really helped train me here in our company, when I came in as, a 23-year-old, he took a listing about 2 years ago, and it was a multi-million-dollar listing, which is a big deal out here in the IE. You guys know that. And he was very excited, and he came in, and I gave him a high five and stuff, and I came in about a week later, and I was talking to him, and I said, so how's that listing going? Any action? And he goes, they're canceling. And I said, they're canceling the listing. I said, well, why? And he goes, well, he said I'm not high tech enough. And I said, he said you're not high tech enough. And he goes, no, and he's an older guy, and I said, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry. Like that, I was crushed because I felt as a broker that it was my responsibility to make sure that he was tech savvy. And so I said, okay, well, hey, before you jump, off a bridge, I said, why don't we send over one of the other agents, and I sent over somebody that was like 28, 29 with him, and he ended up sharing the listing with that person, and they kept it. But I said, and I talked to the agent that was the younger one that went with him, and I said, so how did you prove that you were tech savvy? I said, how did you prove that you were tech savvy when you were over there? And he goes, I didn't do anything. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I literally showed them all the places that I advertise on the internet. He goes, I showed them, how when I put it in here, I have it so that it goes to Zillow, and I have it that it goes to Redfin. All he did, guys, was highlight the fact that he puts it in the MLS, because the MLS shares it out to Zillow and shares it out to Redfin, and the sellers were like, this guy's a genius, he's everywhere. Yeah. He didn't do shit. Yeah. Okay, the only thing he did was showed exactly what the MLS already does for free. So really, it's the sizzle, not the stick sometimes.
Right, for sure, yeah.
And we forget that sellers don't know that it's all fed out to Zillow, and that they don't know about IDX, and they don't know.
Well,
all
they do
stuff.
now because this is being everywhere.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We're just kidding.
So that being the case, I was super torched over that, and but they ended up keeping it. And it's just really about, you don't even have to be tech savvy. You just have to be able to speak the language a little bit. And I think the older generation is still relationship based. But you have to have that Jetsons mentality in the midst of your relationship base now. You have to have both. You have to be a cocktail of the two. Whereas before, it was all, you could rely just on your personality. And personality is just not enough anymore.
And everyone who's been in this business for so long, and you're like, oh, I don't know about doing that. We used to do triplicates, remember? We used to have paper, and it was triplicates, and we survived going to win forms. So we will survive going into the whole tech savvy thing. Right.
And Peter, I know you guys use Chime, and we use a lot of Elevated Network and all that, but one of the most important things too is, I believe, is text 2 codes. And I'm hoping that all of you guys are using the text 2 codes, and does Chime have that, Peter? I'm pretty sure it does, right? Yeah, where, text 413 to this number, for a full online video and drone footage of this property. So, and you will get tons of people that'll be getting those calls off of the signs as they text those, and then you're getting text their phone number. So you have somebody to follow up with. And I know that sounds very, very elementary, but not everyone is using the text 2 codes. Or that sounds like a great idea, but they're not actually using it. So seller lead website, buyer lead websites, text 2 codes. It's just a matter of you engaging in one or two that you find are the most effective. So that's kind of my point is, just making sure that you have some hooks, and hooks that you can share with sellers too. Hooks that you can say, so hey, go ahead and text this to this number. I just captured their number, and they're getting a video of your house without having to come in.
Yeah.
And I know that's really elementary for a lot of you guys, and I apologize, but if you're not using it, you should be.
Yeah, especially time of no flyers and all of that,
Right. So
Jetsons.
Yeah. So it's just about being the Jetsons. The Flintstones are great, and those agents are still killing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because their clientele is also the same age as well. But it's not going to last forever.
You got to be able to do it both. You got to like both shows.
It's going to be in you know what I mean? So that's that, Peter. Number 5 is turning strangers into clients. And so many times, again, pre-COVID days, I would have an agent come in, and the agent would tell me that they had about 10 people come through their open house, and they couldn't get information from any of them. Oh, I have another agent. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. Whatever that may be. And that being the case, they would just get really frustrated. And I was trying to figure out, why can't these people get it done? Why are they not able to kind of grab a hold and make these people clients? And I think it's because they don't really know a lot of the basics. And, it's the basics. And this is where, when I say turning strangers into clients, this is where being a salesperson in real estate is everything. So, for example, all you guys that work for Peter, all right, and think about this. And it's kind of funny because I'm going against what I just said, but how fun is Peter? If he's in front of you, you're going to have a great time with him. I mean, you are. I would like to believe that all of our top producers are like that. If you get to spend time with me, especially if there's cocktails involved, we're going to have a good time.
We're going to have a good time.
Okay, we're going to build a relationship. It's all going to be good. So you have to figure out how to quickly build a relationship with these clients as you meet them, whether it's in the grocery store, whether it's the cashier, whether it's the Kohl's manager, and for you interviewing, it's, that agent is there. You got them for 15 minutes.
I think he went to have a cocktail.
We lost you there for a second.
Lost me?
I think Chuck had too much to drink.
Peter.
I'm done.
Hey, Chuck, you there?
Yeah, did you guys lose me? You lost me.
Oh, no.
No, everybody lost you at the cocktail part. Chuck had too much to drink. You got frozen.
Am I back? Am I
You're
here?
back.
Okay, all right. So basically, I'm not sure when I lost it. Last thing was a cocktail. So yeah, well, Bloody Mary time. So no, what I was saying, Peter, is we just get such a small time to make an impact on people and to, try to win them over, to get them to help, allow them to help them make their biggest purchase. So how do we do that? And what I always like to say is, if you look at the top producers from Amber to all the different people that I've met in West, to the Zings in our office, and they just have big, magnetic, positive personalities. And so even if you don't have one, you have to fake it till you make it.
You do. And ask questions. It doesn't have to always be about you, make it about them. If you're super shy, make it about them.
That's everybody's favorite topic.
Yeah, themselves.
What's
Especially
everybody's
yours.
favorite topic? Oh, stop it. And that's number 1. And number 2, what's everyone's favorite word in the world?
I don't know.
Their name. People love to hear it. So if I say, Jenny, it is so great to see you, it's better than, it's great to see you. So one of the things that we have to do when we do meet people is we have to remember their names. And so there are ways of doing that. So number 1, when you meet somebody, put hi, I'm Chuck. And you're going to say, hi, I'm Jenny, right?
Right now.
And then I would say, okay, so Jenny, it's really nice to meet you, And so Jenny, how long have you lived in the area? So, but by doing that, I've said your name 3 times. So once you say that name 3 times, it registers in your brain. And now I'm going to remember it with you. And then you can also, associate that name with something about you. You know what I mean? So just a thought, some feature that's unique about them, like Betty Brown hair, or anything you can possibly think of to make sure that you remember them. So that's important, is remembering their name, repeating their name, and starting to build that relationship just by doing that. But you said it yourself. The second thing is asking questions. And then the third thing, and this is the really big thing, is I still hear, Peter, of people going out on listing presentations or going out and showing property and not searching them on social media before they go out with them, not looking them up, not knowing their hobbies, not having things to talk to them about. And I don't understand how you could go on any listing appointment without doing all the homework. Hey, Jenny, I was on your social media and I saw that you were in Europe last year. That had to be awesome, right? Now we're engaged.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping everyone is doing as much research as they possibly can. So big one. So here are the 6 keys that I think are important to turn a client or a stranger into a client.
Okay.
Number 1 is always staying positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. We know that, right? Positive, energetic, and enthusiastic, because that is, it just emanates, and it just, people are drawn to that.
Can I ask you a question, Chuck?
Please, I'd love it.
when you said about when you go to a listing and you tell them I looked on your social media, they don't think you're stalking them. I mean, is it because,
What about
stranger,
this?
especially?
What about this? What about this? Just to make you feel better. So I went on your social media just to prepare. I'm not a stalker, but I did see that you went to Ireland. How about that?
Okay. Yeah.
I think Peter has an
It's
idea.
almost like you have to. You almost have to look at everybody's social media before you meet with them. I have a funny story about a Keller Williams recruiter texted me 2 days ago and asked to meet with me to network and not move offices, but to network. So of course I took the meeting and I spoke with him yesterday, and being the stalker that I am, I looked up his Facebook and everything, and I learned everything about him. So I get on this call with him, and I thought it was really interesting that he asked me about my production. And when I told him, well, my team did about, 4,400 transactions last year, his face like froze. and I was like, you didn't look up my production or look me up on social media? He's like, no, I didn't have a chance to. So it's like he was trying to recruit me to Keller Williams. And if he would have just looked me up, he might have realized that probably not recruitable.
Perfect.
So
perfect.
You have to do your homework.
Totally.
Perfect example. So
Steve Black does this too, actually.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I called him and he's like, "Oh, you have a Chihuahua?" I'm like, "How do you know?" He's like, "I'm looking at your Facebook profile." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yep, that's about right. So number one is staying positive. Number two is trying to connect at a deeper level. And what I mean is like, when you pass somebody in the hallway, there's two ways you can do it. You can say like, "How's it going, Jenny?" That's one. And they can say, "Oh, it's good." Okay, and you keep walking. Like, "No, Jenny, how are you really doing?" So like taking the time to like just reach a little bit past the normal pleasantries.
And you have to act like you care when you ask that.
Act like you care. You don't really care when you're asking me questions?
No, you ask me all the time. I don't think you really care. But that's what I mean. You have to be for sure and make sure you have the, be sincere.
I know. Well, and it has to be genuine. You're correct. So connecting with people at a deeper level is hard, but I think you can. I mean, you could say something about their clothes. You could say something about their car. You could say something about their kids. You can do it.
Yes.
And that's what came back to you saying, ask the questions. And remember, he or she who asked the questions controls the conversation, right? So number three, remembering the simple things which we talked about, like their names is one thing, but I know the most successful medical rep that I know, and you guys know those guys kill.
Yes.
I asked her, like, how did you become such a badass? And because she has to get past the gatekeeper. She goes into medical offices, the receptionists are up front. She has to get past them to try to get to the doctors. And she said, I always take notes on anything that they say. My son has a baseball game this Saturday. My husband is taking me to dinner for, our anniversary. And then the next time she comes in, she's always like, so how did your son do in that game on Saturday? Was it fun? Or where did you guys end up going? How was dinner for your anniversary? So it's just a way of remembering the simple things or making a note about the simple things to let people know you care.
Yeah.
So again, staying positive, connecting at a deeper level, and remembering the simple things. And we talked about number 4, which is looking at the profile before you meet. And number 5 is shut up and listen. There are so many of us as real estate agents that talk, and never ask those questions. And just be quiet. You're going to get your turn. Okay?
It's not about you.
No, it's not about you. Let them talk. So shut up and listen is number 5. And then last, and this is the most important, is always remind them that you sell real estate. Every single conversation that you have needs to make sure that you are addressing the fact that I am in real estate sales. And so whatever it may be, like, I just sold a house last week to this lady. You're not going to believe this. And that's all that matters. Okay? You know what I mean? And I have one agent that walks around all the time at his soccer games pretending he's on the phone with the client. Oh, yeah, that's going to close on Saturday. It's not real. He's not actually even on with anybody. It's hilarious. I'm like, dude. And he's like, they don't know.
They don't know.
And I'm like, all right. Walking, talking billboard, screaming from the mountaintops. I sell real estate. So anyway, so that's a little bit about that chapter. That's chapter 5. Chapter 6 is my favorite. Chapter 6 is creating clients for life. Because the cool part for a lot of you guys, like when I see Betsy and when I see a lot of the younger people on the call, the cool part is you guys, the clients that you land now are going to be clients in 5 years, in 10 years. You're going to get to watch them move up over their entire career. So especially you younger people, like you're starting right now with the first-time home buyers. Some of these friends and people that you're making clients with, they're going to hit it, and you get to sell them a bigger home and a bigger home, and then eventually they're on the beach in La Jolla, you know.
Or people my age, we sell our children's friends, and so it's the same thing.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying.
No, but right now, because I sell a lot of my kids as friends.
Yeah.
So I get them their starter home, and now they're starting to move up.
Yes.
So
that's true. That's true.
You're getting older, Chuck.
I know. Somebody reminded me of that yesterday. They're like, well, now that you're moving into your senior years, I'm like, what?
It's okay. It's fun.
I don't want to talk about it. So the other thing is that this was a quote. It's really about, this is where I wanted to bring in the calendar, Peter. And I talk about the calendar a lot. And that's like, when should you make your social media posts? When should you send out your DMs? When should you send out your texts? When should you send out your hard mailers? Like, when should you do all these things? Because those are the things that keep you at the forefront of everyone's mind. And the reason that that's important is because I can guarantee you guys, all of you guys right now, if you went right now, and you had a database of 100 people, I'll bet you one of your clients, I'm talking to you, all you people out there right now, one of your clients was on Zillow last night, laying in their bed on their iPad, looking at properties. And somebody who buys leads could snake that from you. So you have to have that responsibility, right, of making sure that you are keeping in contact with them at all times. Don't forget me. Don't forget me. Don't forget me. You know, and Tony, I don't know if Tony's still on, but this made me, when I was reading this, I think he might be gone, but this is a quote that I think is probably the most powerful quote there is, like, in the real estate business, and it is...
He's still here.
Okay. I mean, and it reminds me of Tony, too. It's, you know, your clients don't forget about you. They think you forgot about them. And why should they reward you for that with business? So I'm going to say that again. Your clients didn't forget about you. They think you forgot about them. And why should they reward you with business for that? So as far as I'm concerned, if you are not following the business calendar, if you're missing holiday cards, if you are not sending a text at least once every 2 weeks, if you're not commenting on every single post or story that they make, you know, something in there, you're dropping the ball. And Zillow and these agents that are buying all this crap are going to steal your client. And that pisses me off. I'm getting really fired up right now. I think it actually makes me angry to think that Zillow's stealing our clients right now.
No, and it should.
But it's your fault. It's all your guys' fault. Get it together. Sarah, get it together. Sarah Driscoll, all right? So anyways, I just want to make sure that you guys are doing that because, you know, anytime a new agent comes in, and they can be in the business 6 months, and you know what drives me insane, Jenny, is when I'm talking to them, they've been in the business for 6 or 8 months, and they don't have a complete database. And when I say a complete database, I am not talking about their phone number. I'm talking about their phone number. I'm talking about they're on your social media. I'm talking about their home address. I'm talking about their email. Because you have to hit them at all different angles at all times. You cannot just have their cell phone number.
Right.
Texting is great, but like that's not enough. You know, you need to be promoting yourself and marketing yourself and letting them know you care and sending them Christmas cards. And, you know, like St. Patty's Day is coming up. You know, I mean, we're all doing the lotto tickets, you know, a lotto ticket inside a card. If you hit the lotto and you're going to go buy a house, don't forget who bought you the ticket.
Yeah.
You know, just basic little things like that. Like marketing is doing that for everybody in our company right now. Like, so if you're not doing those things, you're dropping the ball.
And like what you said the other day, not all of us read our emails, as bad as that is.
I hate you.
And like I was talking to, and she may be on here, her husband gets all the mail. And so she may not get her card or her postcard that I sent for a week. You never know. So that's why you have to hit all those silly little things.
All of them. And again, you know, and it does fire me up because when one of your clients lists with somebody else or when one of your clients buys from somebody else, that's your fault.
It hurts so bad.
That's my fault. That's our fault.
Or your neighbor. Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, same with us, Peter, right? Like if our company is not providing the value and not keeping in touch and not doing all those sorts of things, our agents are going to start looking around. Like we have that responsibility too to make sure that we're reaching out. What do you need? What can I do for you?
Yeah.
Comments, Peter?
I'm just loving what you've done with your Zoom game, Chuck. I'm just trying to follow it.
My Zoom game.
Keep going, man. Keep going.
Adam, that's a compliment
Chuck,
to you.
It's Lance. I got a quick comment on that.
Please, Lance.
Your clients don't forget about you quote.
Yes.
I attended one of your business planning things that you invited me, I don't know, probably years ago, maybe long. And I think that was the last slide that you put up in your presentation. At least that was my memory. I RD'd that. That's in every single presentation. Every presentation I do, whether it's a sales meeting or a training, it's in there, and I normally make it as the last slide because it's just so critical. We all should. If you missed that quote, Chuck, spit it out again. Everyone should tape that to their mirror or put it on their screensaver because it's so true.
Your clients don't forget about you.
I just love that.
Your clients don't forget about you. They think you forgot about them, and why should they reward you for that with business? And Lance, when you do present that, do you have your signature underneath that quote as if you came up with it? That's what I want to know.
I do. 100%. I said that's a Lance Martin original because you stole it from somebody. Why would I give you credit for it?
I know. I totally did. I wanted
Actually,
to say it.
in all honesty, Chuck, I swear to God, hopefully there's somebody on the call that type it in the chat box. I always give you credit for it. I say, hey, I R&D this from Chuck 5 years ago, and he's the man.
Thank you, Lance.
But then I say you sold from somebody else.
Yeah, that's okay. But I'll take what I can get.
Anyway,
Cool.
It's good stuff.
Well, thanks for sharing that. So, again, that's just what it's all about. And I just want to make sure that, for you guys, for the rest of your life, to build that financial security that you want, to get those sales, to have the cash to take care of your family, to go on the great vacations, to buy rentals, to do all the things you need to do, you have to take care of your people. And I would be, all of you guys right now, you should be slightly panicking because maybe you're not reaching out enough. Mm-hmm. And I'm the same. I mean, I'm guilty too, but I'm getting too fired up. I got to move on.
No,
Let's
okay, move on. Moving on. I know.
All right. So where were we?
6, 7.
Well, Chuck, your commandment 5, 6, and 7. It's pretty much for me, the title is all the same thing.
It is.
It's just building your relationships and being a better friend, right?
Yeah. One, the first one is about, how to build that relationship in 15 minutes with somebody I've never met before. The second one is, how to implement a system to make sure that I'm keeping in contact with them so they don't forget about me.
Gotcha.
And then the last one, which is, embracing the power of personal relationships. This is where, you're literally marrying your client and you're making that commitment for life that this person is going to be my client in real estate sales forever.
And you will always have time for them.
Oh,
they
always.
need to know that.
Always. And so when I'm talking about number 7, it's just people, and Peter, I'm going to harp on somebody right now, and I'm not going to say who it is, but when you, these people that are buying leads, these people that are buying leads, it's a system that I don't like the way they do business, and I don't think it's the West way, and I don't think it's the Associated Brokers way, and I don't think it's the Coastal Alliance way, and it's not the Town and Country way. They siphon all these leads in, and they curate them, and they try to get them, and they call them 6 or 7 times, and they do this, and then they sell them a home, and then they never reach out to them again. And it's because they're just a number.
Right.
They're just a number. If I get 100 leads that come in, I'm going to convert this many, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Well, that's not the way that I want to live my life, in this book. Now, I appreciate all the people that do that, but and it's a great way to generate leads as long as you're keeping those clients.
Yes.
But what you find is the people that are running those businesses their way, once that deal is done, they drop them.
No, they're over them.
They're over them. It's like, a car salesman that never reaches out to you again. And that really bothers me because that's not the way of doing business and having fulfillment and building lifelong relationships and doing the business that we all want to do. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So
you can totally do both. Right? You could buy the leads and then make them your friends.
Yeah, no, there are
make
some.
them your best
there
friends.
are some you want to kick to the curb. I can think of a couple that crossed my path. You know what I mean? But I still kept them, and they ended up working out. Good. But there are a few that you don't necessarily want to keep for life, but you do it anyway. So, and that's where it comes back.
Chuck,
Yes.
Chuck, sorry to interrupt. This is Jason. It hit me really hard what you just said, and I wanted to piggyback on it because I want to make sure that agents that are listening, especially newer agents, get this point. The top agents that I talk to, work with, and coach that are doing $1 million GCI, 1.5, I've called a lot of them over the last 6 months and said, hey, you're crushing it. Are you still lead generating or calling at that same level? So I just want the newer agents to understand there is a ramp up. So the buying leads, the investing in your business, for that first 12, 24, 36 months to generate the online business is a great way to get launched past your SOI of 50 to 100 or 150 people. But the comeback around is that systemization that you're talking about, that client for life. So I just want to make sure that people are listening don't take that as, oh, I don't have to call or I shouldn't make those cold calls or buy leads. It's a great ramp-up strategy, but it's not the long-term play.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that, Jason.
Perfect, Jason.
The issue that I have is not about buying leads or doing this or that. The issue that I have is when they don't cultivate that person for life
Yeah.
and make them integrated into their life. You know what I mean, Jason? So, but thank you for clarifying
Yes.
that. Yeah, I'm not saying don't go buy leads because, I started out door knocking. I started out cold calling when we were able to do all that sort of stuff. And that's how I got my business going. And that sucked. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But now I still have contacts with those people 27 years later, so, but thank you for clarifying that, Jason. I totally agree. But it does go back to this, and the buying leads portion, Jenny, is people buy leads, which is cool. And, I was talking to one of my friends who has a team, and he is not at this company, he's somewhere else. He spends $28,000 a month buying leads. And he has a team of 13 people. $28,000 a month. That's what he spends, right?
That made my tummy hurt.
But he is that guy. That guy that does not take care of his people, and he
so he has to. He needs them. He needs them.
Turn it and burn it, because we end up getting his listings when they go to sell because no one kept in contact with them. And I'll never forget that MBA Harvard study that basically said acquiring a new customer costs 25 times more than taking care of a pre-existing customer. So, the little dollar lotto ticket in March, the beach ball that you send out for Memorial Day, the flags that you send out for 4th of July, the Christmas card, it's only $25 a person. Whereas what are people spending on leads? And when people ask me, my top 100 or my top 200, how do I gauge if they should be in my top 100 or my top 200? I always ask this question: are they worth $25? Because I believe you should be spending $25 a year on each one of your clients. That's the beach ball. That's the lotto ticket. That's the Christmas card. That's the flags. That's the Super Bowl mailer. It's like all those sorts of things. So if they're not worth $25, then I think don't put them there.
I love that.
Put them in the B group, So anyways, by the way, anybody can jump in anytime they want. Corey, you've been awfully quiet, man. If you have anything you want to jump in on, let me know. The other thing I think...
Thanks for the invitation, Chuck.
Say that again, Corey?
I said, thanks for the invitation, Chuck. I appreciate it.
Always, man.
While we've been on the call, I put in the chat, Chuck, you probably didn't see it. I need to buy your book because you never gave me one. So I went on Amazon and bought a few copies.
Thank you.
While we've been on the call. It's great stuff, Chuck. So
thank you.
The other thing I would just say in reference to the last comment you made is, and that Jason shared, it isn't one lead generation system versus another. It's creating multiple lead generation systems that work for you all the time to generate leads into your business. And then your point, Chuck, is then it's up to you to treat your clients so they become raving fans.
Correct.
And spread your good word.
Correct. And yeah, no, thank you for that, Corey. That's absolutely the truth. And I always try, when an agent starts out in the business, we have to figure out what's their wheelhouse. Because the way that Corey became successful as a real estate agent is going to be different than the way Chuck did, and it's going to be different the way Jenny did, and different than the way Rick Hagan did. So really at the beginning, it's really trying to figure out what is my wheelhouse.
Yeah, and you don't have to do what you don't like.
Mine was sports and cold calls and stuff like that. Someone else might be, mine was all from the church or this or that or whatever. So, or buying leads, so finding that niche is really kind of the hardest part, is finding your way in this world, in the world of real estate, So, and that changes over time. But the other thing I wanted to mention, Corey, was the value of Brian Buffini. And if you take anything from Brian Buffini, and I like Brian Buffini, I looked at the business card and he's funny, right? So, but the kicker is he's always been about items of value. And so when I was talking about the lotto ticket, or, whether you're delivering a charcuterie board or whatever you're doing when you're building your calendar, you're building in items of value. So, and I hate to say it, but you're guilting them so bad with gifts and presents and values that there's no way whatsoever that anyone would not use you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, oh, I can't believe it. I bought him, dinner and this and that. The Popeyes, that's right, Karen, exactly. And you know what? I think that if you know that, that's all you need to know from Brian Buffini. Have value prop buys that, they absolutely, and we do the same thing in our company, and I know Peter does the same thing too. It's just letting people know that you care and guilting the shit out of them. Where are you going? Well, you're not going to use me to sell your house?
Yeah.
After I bought you a lotto ticket?
I spent $2 on you?
Yeah, but it's the thought.
It is the thought. I love being thought of.
It's thought. See, I'm going to get you a lotto ticket.
Oh, God.
I'm going to buy you one.
He's going to spend $1 on me, guys.
I am. You know what? You earned it. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
The other thing I wanted to mention, and this is my favorite thing, and this is what Chris Conrad and Coastal Alliance and all that stuff, like her favorite thing out of the whole book, she told me,
okay,
was the creation of a free text program. And what I mean is, hopefully you guys are all using Hit 'em Up, right? Hit 'em Up is where you can create whatever group right out of your phone, the Hit 'em Up app. It's a green app. And you can put all of your clients from your phone, because a lot of people, and again, I don't know about Chime and Elevated and all that sort of stuff, but a lot of people are using, it's not their actual phone number.
Right.
So, on every Thanksgiving, I text our top 50, and I just say thank you. I'm so excited. I really appreciate you being here, and I wanted to say thanks. And and then you can do the same thing on Christmas. You can do the same thing on New Year's. But I believe that in your calendar, you should have laid out exactly when you're going to text each one of your people.
You're right.
So if you have 100 people in your database, I'm going to text 25 in January, 25 in February, 25 in March, and 25 in April. So January is going to be Happy New Year. February is going to be, Happy Valentine's Day. Well, it might be creepy, but, something along there. President's Day, whatever.
That's what I was just going to say.
March might be St. Patty's Day, and then April might be something about Easter. But just reaching out and texting people is free. It's free, and everyone opens their text. Now, they might not respond to you right away, but they're going to see it. But what's the most important thing? When I look at my phone and I see that Peter Mendiola sent me a text, he's thinking of me, and I just saw Peter's name. And texting is free, and if you don't have a big budget, it's a no-brainer. Happy Memorial Day. I mean, no one minds you sending them a text. I hate getting phone calls. I hate calls. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, what? But a text I love, because you can respond to it when you want. And they thought of you, and they took the time to individually do that. So the texting program is big, but it's important. And we've had agents send out group texts accidentally, and then somebody replies what the hell is my name doing on here? Take me off here, you a-hole. You know what I mean? So make sure that they are individual. Make sure that you put their name in there. Number one, you always put their name in a text. Always put their name in a text. So, hi, Jenny, not like, hi, because that was fake.
Right.
Number two is be genuine and respectful. Always be genuine. Like, Jenny, your hair, I saw you on the show today. Your hair looks fantastic, and you look amazing in black.
Thanks.
Okay. The third thing might be always include something personal and of interest to them. Like, hey, I read in the newspaper that, the Little League team that your son is on won the championship.
He just said he read in the newspaper. Did anybody catch that?
I am becoming a senior.
Sorry, I had to point that out. Okay, I'm glad other people chuckled.
Oh, good. Good for them. Good for them. All right.
But we understand what you're saying.
Right.
You saw online that their son.
I saw
won.
a post. That's what
I saw a post. Okay.
Newspaper. God. Okay. All right. And number 4, always include your name and where you're from. You know what I mean? So anyways, just in case, like if it's a first text or whatever. But I just think that it's
horrible about that. I need to put that on my signature thing.
Well, remember, guys, on your V card in your phone, if it doesn't say realtor in there, it should say Chuck Whitehead, realtor in all caps, so that anytime anybody's looking for your contact information, it reminds them that you are a realtor. If you do not have realtor in your V card when you're sending it to people, that's another little nugget that you can use to make sure that people remember what you do.
Dig it.
Okay. So keep that in mind. So that's kind of the example texting program, and then if you send out personal ones all the time, Happy New Year's, happy this, happy that, hope you and the family have a great time, then you can do business prospecting texts occasionally. Here's an example. Hi, Pete. I'm texting you with my real estate hat on. I have a client looking for a 4-bedroom in your area. We've seen everything on the market and are not having any luck. Do you know anyone who may be looking to sell? Let me know and say hi to Kathy. Chuck.
Super good.
So by doing that, I'm mixing personal with business. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I'm allowed to do the business once in a while. If you reach out with business all the time,
they're going to hate you.
No.
They're not your friend.
I wouldn't even like me. So, so that's that. The next thing, any comments on anything, Peter?
Excuse me.
Please.
Yeah, I have a question. You mentioned about you should have it on your calendar. It seemed like a while back you showed a calendar that I think that you put on, but it had all the things that we should be doing like through the month. Do you have that?
Amelia, you get that. You're going to get that emailed to you every month.
Yes. And then, yeah, we email it out to everybody every month on the first of the month. And it has things, Amelia, like today's National Chocolate Day. That's a great tool to use to post to your social media. It may be, the next one might be it's National Dog Day, Hug Your Dog Day. It's just all these different things. I know, don't get all sappy. I know, she lost her dog. But, just things
so
that...
I can kind of go through that, all the stuff that you have, if I just hit everything that you kind of tried as much as you
everything
can,
in blue on that
then-
calendar, everything on blue on that calendar means this is a topic for you to post on that day. Because we have like the national National Hallmark calendar shows everything that's happening. I mean, it could be anything. It could be National Carpet Day, like check out my new carpet, whatever. You just need the reasons to do it. And it also has, when to text my top 25, when to send out my DMs, when should I prep to send out my lotto cards for St. Patty's Day. It's a little guide to make sure that you are hitting the benchmark things that you need to be hitting. Yeah. That's all it really is.
Okay.
All right.
That'll work. Thank you.
And thank you, Millie, because that leads into the next chapter.
Oh, I love a lead way.
And the next chapter is become an action item junkie. And Peter, Corey, Karen Vargas, Carrie Guthrie, Tom, when we do interviews, a lot of times I always like to ask them, tell me about your business plan. Mm-hmm. And then when they do that, you can find, I plan to, exceed expectations and do this by hitting, doing open houses and marketing and blah, 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 blah. And usually, I'm already checked out once they get to that point because they realize they're not going to make it in the business. Okay, because, and here's a quote out of the book: vague and theoretical business plans are not effective. We are in the real estate business, not a freshman philosophy class. Okay, so to that end, make sure that you have a specific and actionable business calendar that you follow every day. Because it's actions, people. It's not philosophy. It's not, I need to, do this or do that. It's really about the action items that I do. Good for you. You want to send out lots of texts? When? How many? What time? Who exactly are you sending them to? What quartile?
Doesn't that give you so much anxiety? But that means it has to be done. Like if it starts to do this to you, I think that means that's when that's going to work. And
Jenny, do you like money?
I love money.
Okay. Does everybody on the call like money? Because this is the only way you're going to make it.
Yeah.
Is being actionable, texting people, calling people, writing personal notes, doing all those sorts of things. So if you're not doing it,
Chuck?
yes. I feel like Dad right now.
Chuck?
Yes.
I think it's important to remind everybody, related to what you're talking about, action steps, that lead generation is your job. However, that's not the creator of the transaction. It is the system for the follow-up. If you don't have the follow-up, then it's not going to work.
Amen, sister. Amen. And even like when we have our masterminds, the top people are always saying the same thing. My problem is my follow-up. Mm-hmm. Even at the top, the top people, so I agree with you. So anyway, so that's a little bit about when I say become an action item junkie, I'm specifically referring to that. And here's another suggestion. Shut off your phone.
Say what?
I know it's hard. All right. You can do it though. Shut off your phone, close your email. Pay your kids to go hide away from you or your grandkids or whatever. It's not easy, but you should be creating that calendar every month. What things do I need to get accomplished that next month? And I'm talking like with those stupid desk calendars that we used to get from Tidal.
Oh, I love those.
The big giant ones that take up like your whole desk.
Yes.
Write down what things I need to get done that day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think that's important. Just prioritizing them and building that calendar. So those are some of the action item things. I've got a few chapters to go, but Peter, we're Corey, we're almost out of time. So I'm going to add just one or two more things.
We didn't get through all the commandments, Chuck. You still got a handful that you got to go.
I know, but what time is it? We got 3 minutes.
You have 3 minutes. Go through the last 3 commandments.
Okay.
1 minute.
Ready? Go. The other thing is you guys know that, and I've done this with West, and I've done this with Coastal Alliance, and I've done this with your goal setting and your business planning that you do every year is the most important thing that you should do in your life. Where do you want to go financially? How much do I need to make? What do I want to do with my passive income? How much time do I want to spend with my family? Is it my goal to, take them on a trip? Do I want to remodel a kitchen? Writing all that stuff down. So when I say refining your goals and creating your fuel, like if you don't have your picture of where you want to go and who you want to be, you're never going to have that fuel. Mm-hmm. So please don't miss the business planning and goal setting pieces, when West and Coastal Alliance and Town and Country, and when we all do that, that's one of the most important things you can do in your life. And again, I have in the book, how to set economic and financial goals, how to set, your personal development goals, how to set your financial goals, all that sort of stuff. The next one is living and dying your numbers. I have a whole section on that. We have to figure out how many sales do we need to hit what we need to hit.
Oh,
So
that's
knowing
nice.
thy
Okay.
numbers and how many people need to be in my database, and and so on and so forth, defining what you need to do numbers wise to hit your financial goals.
Okay.
That's that commandment.
So you like work backwards
Yes.
type of thing? Okay.
And then the last commandment is creating a mantra, which is something that I'm going to be doing that exercise shortly, where for our whole company, we're doing something so fun, you're going to love it.
Okay.
But we're going to create mantras and actually have them built into things that we see every day, etched and lasered and all that sort of stuff, so that it's in front of them all the time and that they don't lose track of their purpose and their goals and the things that they want to do.
That's so good. So think about your mantras, everyone. That's good.
And it's an exercise that we'll go through. But anyways, 9:30.
9:30.
We're there.
Well, thanks for inviting me, guys.
Isn't it great that Jenni's here?
I don't think they invited me, but he invited me. So thanks for having me.
Peter, anything, man?
No, this was a great presentation, Chuck. Thank you.
No problem, man. Thank you. And Corey, good idea, man. Thanks for letting me pitch this bad boy. I appreciate it.
Hey, Chuck, can I get a bulk deal on your books?
You can
sign all of them. I want to give all of the new agents that join the company, I want to give them your book.
Every time someone starts here, they do get one. Absolutely. Be happy to. And okay. Emma, I see that you were asking about the calendar. Peter, I'll upload it in West right now if you want to get a copy of our February
Good. Thank you.
calendar.
I was just going to respond to that. So thank you. Okay.
Yep. So happy to do
Upload March, Chuck, because February's over.
You got it. March is not quite done yet. I will sign your book, Anthony, just because you have the coolest mustache I've ever met.
Oh, I know. And then his like screen picture he puts up. I'm like, dude, nice,
He rocks
nice.
It. But anyways, all right. Well, thank you,
guys. Well,
thanks, guys.
Chuck, thank you.
No problem.
Everybody have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.